changes.
Hey, good evening everybody. Welcome into the channel, and just a warning before I finish this video or even start, this is going to be one of those unpopular opinions, unpopular videos to a lot of people, but please hear me out and listen to this all the way through before you form any kind of opinion or leave a comment down below. But I do encourage you to leave a comment down below with your opinion or with your experiences. Also, remember what I'm going to give you here right now is an opinion, experience, some factual evidence to back it up. And also, this isn't everyone. This is only going to apply to the majority of the situations I'm talking about, probably 90%, but we'll get into that. So I want to talk about Poshmark, virtual assistants, and sharing. Specifically, I want to talk about bots on Poshmark. So let me give you guys a quick little rundown and backstory, and then we'll get into the details. So if you're not familiar with Poshmark, it's a platform for selling clothing and accessories. In the last year, they've expanded to other things like home goods and plush and other types of merchandise. It's a pretty big website. It sells billions of dollars in merchandise over its last couple of years. There are millions of sellers, and it's pretty cool. In fact, it's cool enough that I sell on it, and I have part of my 2020 training program covers how to use Poshmark from start to finish. I believe Poshmark is a fantastic website. I believe it's a fantastic platform. It does get a decent amount of sales and traffic. And also, the way that it works with sharing is a pretty cool premise. But let me tell you why I have a problem with Poshmark and why this leads into the situation that we're going to discuss today. So my problem with Poshmark is that it's very time intrusive. And by that, it means that you have to list merchandise just like you would on any other platform. You have to take the time to photograph and list things just like you would on eBay or Mercari or even Amazon to a point. Now, Posh tends to be a pretty quick website for listing. It doesn't take forever to do, and it's not bad. The problem is it doesn't have nearly the audience that an eBay or an Amazon has, nowhere close. So the sales are generally slower. I have polled my audience, and on eBay, most clothing sellers with 100 or 200 items sell between 1 and 2 items a day per 100 to 200 items. On Posh, all the sell-through rates that I've asked people about are much lower. Now again, some people may be better sell-through rates than that, but most are not. It's almost always an advantage for eBay. Now, some people have an argument that Posh doesn't have a store fee. Posh takes 20% of your flat fee, but the buyer pays shipping. eBay only takes 14%, 13%, give or take. In fact, it's gotten a little better. So they do beat them in fees, but there is a store cost, so that kind of is a wash. The buyer pays shipping. A lot of eBay sellers charge buyer shipping. They're kind of similar in fees. The overall expense, if you sold the exact same items here and the exact same item here, are almost the same. Now, Posh's average sell price used to be pretty well above eBay's. If you sold this shirt for 20, you could get 25 or 30. They've come down, and so they're almost even now, a little bit better on Posh, a little bit better on eBay for certain things, but they're almost a wash. So as far as platform to platform, they're pretty close, except that eBay has a way, way bigger buying audience than Posh ever could dream of having. And that makes sense. eBay's been around for 2 or 3 times as long as Posh, 4 times as long. So it makes perfect sense. Now, with all of that said, what am I talking about with VAs, sharing, and bots, and why do I think there's a huge problem? Well, part of Poshmark's platform, if you're not familiar with it or you just started, is once you list all of your items, you click a button that says share. And that shares that item to the platform. It doesn't share it out to your social media, although you do get an option to do that. It shares it through the platform. And when potential buyers search for a shirt, let's say I'm selling this blue Nike shirt and I share it. When they look up blue Nike shirt, extra large, dry fit, athletic wear, whatever, the most recently shared item is what default shows up. Now you can sort it by price. Of course you can sort it. But it's always shared items that have a better chance of showing up higher in the search results as far as the default search goes. And so with that said, sharing your items every day, once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever it may be, is a big help to your sales. At least it always has been. Okay, so let's say that you get to listing and you get 500 items up. You're cranking away and you're listing 10 and 15 and 20 items a day, and you work for a month or 2 months and you get up 500 active items. Sharing 500 active items can take a little bit of time, let's say 30 minutes to an hour. Probably at least. I don't recall my best sharing times, but to share 500 items is going to take every bit of 30 to 60 minutes. I don't think anyone's sharing it any faster than 30 minutes. It would be tough. And sharing it in longer than an hour, hour and a half is probably too long. But let's just go with an hour for the sake of argument. It takes you an hour, you're a pretty fast share. Good to go, right? Well, obviously, when something takes a lot of time, people get creative. People create programs, softwares, or what are known as bots that will automatically do the sharing for you, so you don't have to sit there and share. You could just turn on this robot and it will automatically do it. The problem is, and it always has been, strictly against Poshmark terms of service to use a bot for sharing. Now, the reason that Poshmark's platform is so genius is because Manish, the CEO, created Poshmark to cause people to share things, which one, would help their sales, so that gave them an incentive to share, and two, the platform would have constant activity and sharing, and that helps Posh a lot because it puts it higher into Google search. It gives the platform more activity. It's fantastic for the platform, and it helps the sellers win-win all the way around. In fact, when they sell more, well, then obviously Posh is going to collect more of their 20% fees because you have a robot running, share, sales, 20%, 20%. So Posh is okay with it. The problem is it's a conflict of interest. When you are making money, more money, off of a program that you put that's against your terms of service, how are you going to be okay with that when you say you're not okay with it, but then you're okay with it because you get to make more money off of it? This is a problem, right? Because that's going to obviously cause Poshmark to turn a blind eye. Anybody in their right mind would say, well, you know, bots are against terms of service, but I get to make a lot more money, so I'm just going to let them do it. There are sellers that have been suspended off of Poshmark. And if you've been suspended off Poshmark, you want to stay anonymous, or you want to tell your story, please do in the comments below. They have suspended sellers. It's absolutely a fact. I've seen it, I heard it, I've seen it in my groups, I've seen people talk about it on social media. So recently there was, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get into that. That's not my business. But I'm just going to tell you, and it's not the first person. There's somebody who offers a VA service, which is a virtual assistant, to share your listings for you. And I'm going to get into that in a minute too. Basically what this person did was they paid a bot service. Let's say they paid the bot service, I don't know, $50 a month. I don't know what the numbers are. I have no idea. They paid $50 a month for the bot service to share. What they were doing was they were taking that $50 a month subscription and they were using it to share tons of other people's stores, and they were charging those other people obscene amounts of money, $100, $150 a month, whatever it may have been. And so they were spending $50 as an investment or $100 as an investment or whatever, and then making thousands of dollars by charging other people, bang, 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 bang. That was against the bot's terms of service, not Poshmark, against the bot's terms of service. So the bot shut that person down. Boom, you're not going to take our $50, $100 service and sell it out to all of your people and get to profit off of us. This service was just for your closet, not for everyone else's. Okay, so rightfully so, boom, shut down, which then caused all of the Poshmark sellers using this person's service to get shut down. Now, that's on top of all of this bot sharing being against Posh's terms of service to begin with. So all of this is a huge problem. And basically, a lot of people were duped who were told that this person providing them this service was manually sharing all of this. First of all, don't be dumb and naive. Nobody is sharing your closet 3, 4, 5, 10,000 times a day, and so-and-so's closet in 100 people's closet. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of shares a day for $50, even if they're charging you $150 a month, which is what I think it was. That's what, $5 a day to share all of your stuff? $5 a day? Are you kidding me? Who are they going to pay? Somebody in the Philippines that works for pennies, or another country? Even that wouldn't be enough to cover it. Because remember, they got to do it for all these people. Let's say they had 100 customers that they're collecting $5 a day from. So they're collecting $500 a day. So let's say you go pay somebody $10 an hour, right? $10 an hour means you're paying somebody $80 a day. You're collecting 500, which is $420. But that one person can't share all those closets. So you need like 30 or 40 or 50 people a day. All of a sudden you've burned up all the money. So the only way you could humanly possibly get that done is if you're using a software and a bot that's doing it for you, which is exactly what was happening. So number one, this person has based their entire business, and there's many of them that do it, on a feature that violates the platform's terms of service, Poshmark. Secondly, not only have they violated that terms of service, they're now violating the bot service that they got by giving it out to a bunch of people at a price. Step two, that's a problem. Step 3, they've lied to their customers, or problem 3, excuse me, they've lied to their customer base, according to everything that I've seen from multiple different services and providers, that they're not using a bot, which is false because we just found out that they obviously are. There's no way for them to share that much. So 3 strikes at least. And then they're charging, these bot services can be had for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks a month. And they were charging $100, $150, $200 a month. So they're charging 2, 3, 4 times the price of something that the people out here could have went and got on their own. Now, that's capitalism, and I'm okay with that if the rest hadn't been true. If you find something for 40 bucks a month and you offer it to somebody for 80 bucks a month and they're willing to pay you because they're too lazy, too stupid, too naive, too uneducated to go out and find it on their own, hey, that's great for you. We do it every day. We buy a t-shirt for $5 and we sell it to someone else for 25 because they're too lazy or too whatever to go out and find it on their own for $5. That's capitalism. Perfectly okay with that. I'm not okay with the breaking multiple terms of services, and then I'm not okay when somebody pays you for a service out and out lying to their face about the service they are receiving, especially when that service then endangers their account for bot sharing. Okay, so that's the entire story wrapped up in a big ball. And so my big problem with this, like I just said, is the entire violating terms of service. You have endangered your business and that person has endangered their business over something that is not sustainable. Okay, what do I want to wrap this up with? I basically want to say, look, Poshmark, this is where my unpopular opinion is probably going to come in. Poshmark is very time dependent. And anything that's time dependent, time is your greatest asset. You can't get more of it, right? Same 24 hours in every day. Most Poshmark sellers, most, are hobby sellers, are part-time sellers. You will be hard-pressed to find a significant amount of 6-figure Poshmark sellers. They do exist, but there are not very many of them. Not many at all. And even if they're doing 100 grand, we already know that Posh takes 20%, which leaves them 80,000. We already know cost of goods can be 10, 15, 20%. Say 15%, 15 grand. That leaves them 65,000. They've got materials and accounting and other costs. You're talking about somebody that's making $50,000 or $60,000 a year in profit if they're doing 100 grand. Maybe 60,000. That's a fair income, especially sitting at home. But anybody that's on Poshmark, that's doing 6 figures, only doing it one of 2 ways. One, they're busting their ass and they're actually working their butts off to get to that number. And it can be done, selling high-end stuff, selling the right stuff, possibly having an employee, which then eats into your profits more, or you're paying a bot service to share. Now also, the bot service to share is not a guarantee that items are going to sell. Keep that in mind. It's a help, and it definitely helps sales for a lot of you. I know it does, but it's not a guarantee. So my point to this is, I love Posh, and I think it's a great platform if you're part-time, if you're hobby, if you're learning to build, if you're adding it on as a cross-listing tool through like List Perfectly, and you're adding it onto a platform where you're just cross-listing it onto Posh, and you're not spending a lot of time sharing, you're just throwing it over there, and when you get a sale, you get a sale. I believe that listing more on Posh does more than sharing more. They're both important, but definitely the listing more works wonders over just sharing. So if you're going to do that through a cross poster and just keep throwing inventory up onto Posh, fantastic. Otherwise, I think your time is best spent on eBay building that inventory and then cross posting it over to Posh, because eBay has a bigger customer base. When you talk about serious eBay sellers, we've got eBay sellers doing millions, hundreds of thousands a month, millions a month. You know, even small sellers doing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month. You just don't find that over on Poshmark. You just don't. Yes, they exist, but on such a smaller scale, and there's a reason why. And so if you're spending all your time trying to figure out how to share more or how to use a bot to share, you're spinning your wheels. There are better answers and better options. And I think you really have to get yourself outside of that cocoon, out of that bubble, that safety net, that safety blanket of Poshmark, and learn how to use eBay. Yeah, I know there's returns, and yes, I know there's scammers, and yes, I know there's rules and fees and this, but you know what? Once you get into the groove of it, there's a reason so many people are so successful on eBay. Same with Amazon. The eBay sellers that don't go over to Amazon because they're so scared of gating, so scared of product ranking, so scared of this and that, and once you learn Amazon, you end up making a ton of money through that. Same with Shopify or Wholesale. Every time you learn a new platform, there's a learning curve and it's annoying. But once you get it, you're going to thank God that you got it instead of just sitting in this little compact corner of Poshmark just going share, 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 when you could be expanding out and making better use of your time and your money and your efforts. Oh, and by the way, you won't be using a bot to violate terms of service or one day waking up to your VA provider telling you that she shut down they are shut down because they had an issue, and now when they're actually lying to you and they got shut down because they were violating multiple terms of services. You don't want to try to sustain a business on that sort of hope and pipe dream, essentially. It's not good business, not at all. So unpopular opinion out there, please use the comments. Feel free to tell me what you think. I'm not insulting any of you that are Poshmark sellers or that do it full time. There are plenty of you that make plenty of money, or if you make just enough money that that's all you care about. I'm perfectly okay with all of that. That's fine. I'm just giving you the broader open world vision, and that I think you should definitely expand your horizons. And if you don't expand your horizons and you decide to stick with just Poshmark, please do it the right way. Don't use a bot. It's not really helping you as much as you think it is. Listing more good quality inventory will help you way more than using a bot, and you won't be violating Poshmark's terms of service because you'll be sharing manually all by yourself. Okay, I think I covered everything, right? Shut down, violating terms of services, better inventory, make money, have a wonderful day, hit the subscribe button, like. Yep, we covered everything. Appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time.